Okay. Well, let's welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. We're going to get started. We wanted to try and start about 6:30. We're a few minutes late, but we were getting everything set up. So, just to introduce myself, I'm Booker. I'm a firefighter with the Unified Fire Authority. I've worked with them about 14 years now. I have a wife, 3 kids. Originally, I got, how many of you guys know why you're here? Anybody? What are you here for?
I was invited here.
Invited? You know what you're here to see?
I have a pretty good idea now, yeah.
Okay, real estate. Okay, good. Good. We're here to talk about real estate and how to make some money in real estate and how to help build your retirement. So if that's something you're not interested in, you're in the wrong room. You can get up. There's other rooms. Okay, anyways, I got into real estate about 7 years ago. I met Dustin. I was doing alternative fuel conversions. So he brought a vehicle to me, wanted me to fix it. I could only fix it so much because it was an older vehicle. But we got it running, and he started talking to me about real estate. And that was something that I'd always wanted to get into. As I got out of high school, I knew that real estate was what I wanted to get into because I saw lots of people making money in real estate. I knew that everybody needed real estate, right? So I asked Dustin, how do I get into real estate? And guess what Dustin told me? Go take this $20,000 course, and you'll learn how to do real estate. So I did, and I took the course, and it did help me learn. I actually bought several properties. I wholesaled them, put them under contract, sold them to other guys. So I made all my money back pretty quickly. It took me a year still, but how many people have taken courses and haven't made their money back? A lot of people, right? So, but I kept going forward with it. I've now partnered with Dustin, and we've done a lot of deals. Now let me introduce Dustin. Dustin's been in real estate now for about 15 years. He has done mortgages. He has done loan remodifications. He's done short sales. I mean, any kind of real estate that you can think of doing, he's been in the business and he's done it. So he's been able to teach a lot of people how to do real estate. And if you want to learn how to do the right things and stay away from the wrong things, he's done a lot of the wrong things also, so he can teach you not to do those. So I want you guys all to give Dustin a hand. He's going to come up here and teach you guys how the systems that we're using and how you can use real estate to really augment your retirement and kind of grow what you're trying to do. So everybody give Dustin a hand. Oh, and put your cell phones on vibrate.
All right.
I left mine over here.
Grab your phone.
Yes.
Well, this is Booker. He's a firefighter. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yes.
You did? Okay. My memory's going quick. So this is Booker. He's a firefighter. Did I mention that? Okay. I got back up here. Now we got new rules and different things because people were just seeing my belly button. that doesn't work. But thank you for all coming out. Each week we have a different amount. We have anywhere from 10 to 20 people here. We've got a lot of people in our team now. Does that work better?
You can see the screen better.
Does that work better?
We're fine.
You're fine? Yeah, let's leave it on.
Really? Okay. Now you can't see it.
I can see it perfect.
What screen?
What screen? But, so yeah, thanks for coming tonight, because it's a nice day out there, isn't it? Wouldn't you guys rather be out somewhere on a nice beach, having fun? What would be something fun you'd love to be doing right now? Paul?
X-rated.
Surfing? X-rated? Okay. Beach? Beach?
Cruise would be nice.
Cruise?
Oh, yeah.
Disney World.
Disney World?
I'm going to have to say that I want to film Booker when he gets eaten by the great white shark.
Jason?
Ain't happening.
Maybe outright in 4-wheelers.
Outright in 4-wheelers? Okay, so those all sound fun. That's where I'd love to be. But like Booker said, I got into real estate years ago, and my main goal is I really just wanted to spend more time doing what I wanted to do, having fun, going on trips, spending time with family, and learning and growing at the same time, right? And so one of the things I did learn is the ship that you're waiting for to come in may very well be the ship that you need to build. Is that fair to say? Are there a lot of ships now knocking on your door and saying, hey, here's a way to you can make $1 million in the next year or two or whatnot? There is a pretty much hard work out there. So, as he said, my name is Dustin. I've got 3 kids. Anyone here have kids? Yeah, you brought yours with. Yeah, kids. How many you got, guys, Jerry?
I got 9.
Holy cow. Okay. Well,
That's why he wants to be on a cruise.
Exactly.
my wife came from a family of 9. We had 6. I met another guy the other day that he had 10, and then he just remarried his second wife, and she has 10. So they got 20. Can you imagine? You got a birthday party like every other week. Yeah. So I've been in real estate for 15 years. I spent hundreds of thousands on learning how to get into real estate because I had no idea how to do it. I've bought lots of seminars. I've purchased and sold lots of homes. I've got about 18 properties now. Lost everything twice in real estate. Anyone else know someone that lost some money in real estate? Okay. And I asked myself, how to help others get into real estate? Okay. So this is kind of like my lovely wife, Virginia. This is Sierra Savannah. She was the one here dancing earlier. She likes to be on TV. And that Strider, he is now 1.5, and he is very good at emptying drawers and making messes and grabbing everything off a shelf. So if you need something that's clean, dirty, we've got that covered. Just give me a call, okay? So now we're going to talk about what? Real estate. 3 pillars of freedom. We'll go over that. First of all, just a quick notice is real estate guaranteed to make you rich? It's not. In fact, it's one of the hardest things to get into, but it's also one of the things that's made more millionaires in the United States than any other company out there or any other industry. Is that fair to say too? Okay. And most people that make a lot of money, where do they invest their money at? Okay. Well, say real estate. That's
Real estate.
Okay. So the goals for today, we have a couple short ones. Is one, to really show anyone how they can have an additional 5 homes free and clear in the next 8 to 10 years or less. Starting with your first home, because some people don't have their first home. And in the next 1 to 3 months, making $5,000 to $10,000 a month, no matter what your time, job, credit, or financial situation is now. Does that sound pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay. 2, we're going to go over how you can have your vacations paid for life, how to make an additional $2,000 to $5,000 per month starting this month. And we're going to also go over showing real estate agents how they can make an extra $34,000 to $65,000 per client that they normally wouldn't have made a penny on. Do you think that excites agents?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we just had 75 brokers this last year in New York join us because it helps double their income, and it also gives them a clientele base that goes up pretty well. Because if you're an agent, what do your clients want? Yeah, good real estate. So how to get into real estate without buying courses or managing properties. How does that sound?
Nice.
How many are really excited about managing properties? Okay. And how to get started for $16,000, $8,000, $500, $900, or free, or less. Okay. Does that sound good? Because every one of you is in a different spot in life. Is that fair to say? And some people are like, well, if you get into real estate, it's going to cost money. Okay, and it does. Money, knowledge, but you have to use your own money. Would it be nice to use someone else's experience? So when you guys think of real estate, if you were going to... Oh, let me shut this. He's downstairs. What was I saying?
Using other people's money.
Yep.
And experience.
I don't remember. Okay, and how to do it in as little as 20 minutes a week or less or more. Because what's your most valuable commodity do you guys have right now? Time. How do you get more of it? Okay, you don't. Okay, so do you guys have as much time as anyone else in the world does? You don't have an extra 48 hours, right? You don't have less than that. So we're going to show you how to do it. Really, the main objective is figure out how to free up your time, how to get rid of stress, and live your dreams. Is that what everyone wants as it is? It is. Okay. So how many of you could use extra money in your life? And now these are loaded questions, okay? I know what you have to answer. If you're not answering yes to these, then you're probably really well off, but you probably know someone else that could use it. Is that true? Most people that are really rich, do they know other people that would like to make money? Do a lot of times they know the way to do it? Sometimes they do, but they don't have time. Okay, how many of you could use a little extra time for family, friends, and loved ones? Okay?
Yeah.
And how many of you could use an extra 10 vacations a year?
Yeah.
Okay, Weston just left, and I have another friend that he has his daughter. They're in Disneyland right now. They're having a blast. They're posting pictures all over it. And he, within 4 years of him starting to work, he retired making $50,000 to $80,000 a month. How many of you guys would mind having that? Could you do something different with your life? You could. Okay, so I got a couple questions for you guys. I want you to answer them all right now. Okay, just kidding. I'm gonna do this real quick, but I want you guys to fill them out real quick for me. The ones that haven't, because a lot of you guys have, but a couple of you haven't. So, you need a pen, Jerry? Have you done this before? The survey? Okay.
I have a pen though.
You have a pen now? Paul,
I've done it.
you haven't done this yet, Larry, but I'll tell you what, we're going to ask you the questions. The rest of you fill it out, and fill it out truthfully, okay? Because these are questions on real estate and what you really want to do in your life. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Okay, so Larry, I'm going to ask you some short questions in real estate, and I'll send you a free ebook for it.
Good.
Does that sound good? On how you can actually do it. I had a friend of mine, he wrote this book, and he's done over 500 houses this way. He's helped other people do over 2,000 to 3,000 houses like this, and they haven't lost one to foreclosure. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Does that sound great? Okay, first of all, do you own your own home or any rental properties?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. 2, have you ever thought about or wanted to get into real estate investing?
Been there and even done that.
Been there, done that, lost it, do it again. Okay. 3, have you ever purchased books or courses on real estate investing?
Yes.
Okay. 4, is your retirement set, so if you had to quit working tomorrow, you'd be set for life?
No.
No. Okay, I had someone say yes the other day to that. I've had 2 people out of probably 100 take this that say yes. So I say, well, why are you wanting more information on real estate investing? He's like, well, I don't want to meet anybody. I just wanted to take a survey. Okay. If you had extra money for rental properties, to vacation more, spend more time with loved ones, could this decrease your stress level?
Yes.
Okay. Are you open to making additional lifetime residual income from rental properties?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you didn't have to buy courses or manage properties, you could get into real estate with 5 or more properties free and clear in the next 5 to 10 years and make an extra $500, $5,000 per month now. Would you like more information on how to do this, even with little money, time, or credit?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. If you could meet 10 local people who have done this, would that help you?
Oh, yeah.
How many other courses have you guys been to? Did they actually bring up 10 local people? There's not a lot, right?
They're all from other states.
All from other states. So if you could get a free game plan on how to do this with your personal situation, would you want one?
Yes.
Okay. If the right opportunity came along, it makes sense, you like it, it fits in your time and budget, even if 0 is your budget and time, you have your questions answered to your satisfaction, would you be willing to work with us?
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense, right? Now, are these loaded questions too? Well crafted. Yep. 11, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in getting this information?
Well, I would say a 9 or 10.
Okay. How many people do you think that take the survey like this answer pretty much mostly like that?
I would say probably at least 9 out of 10.
Okay.
11 out of 10.
How come?
Because virtually everyone has an interest in real estate. I think they're interested why is it?
It's not real estate. They're interested. What are they interested in?
Making money.
Making money. Are you guys here because you want to find out more about real estate or how to make a residual income from it? Residual income. Okay, gotcha. So, why real estate? What is so intriguing about real estate?
They don't make any more of it.
They don't make any more, but are we making any more real estate?
Yes. In
Yes.
Dubai.
In Dubai. We are. We're putting tons of sand where there's water and bringing it up so we can have more. We've now gone to Mars.
Or we will be.
We got rovers over there. Okay? But real estate. I mean, in my mind, when I first got into it, it made sense. It's like it's always there. You can get residual income. It's what pays for your toys and retirement. It always appreciates, right? What happens? You have a brick of gold in a house. What's the difference between that? $130,000 brick of gold, which is 100 ounces, right? Or a house, $130,000. What's going to happen to both over time? They're going to appreciate. Now, each month they're going to appreciate, right? Each year, right? Usually on average, right? But what does the house do at the same time? It pays you. So in reality, which one's better almost? I think. Okay? The one that pays you, right? So you can leverage your money. You can leverage other people's money. You got tax benefits. You get hedge against inflations. How many of you have a plan A right now? Okay, where you're working. How about a plan B or a C or a D? Do plans change? Do you know the average person does, 5 to 10 jobs in their lifetime? Is there a retirement? I mean, is there many jobs that stay there? Has it changed in the last couple of years? It has. 10 or 50 years ago to 90 years ago, 95% of everybody owned their own business. How many people own their own business now?
5%.
Yeah, so not as many. So, but it's generational. You can pass down to children and friends. How many businesses are there out there, or things that you can do that you can pass down to your children and friends? Are there a lot of them? There's not. There's some, right? But is real estate always going to be there? Okay, you're not making more. So before I show you how this works, let me tell you what happened to me. I've noticed that most people are trying to find the best way to make more money and get more time, right? And when I was younger, I went to college and I wanted to be an optometrist. Guess why?
They made lots of money.
They made lots of money. And I went to an optometrist school, and they were boring. Okay? And I was like, I cannot do that. But I met some guys that made some money in real estate. Have any of you guys met someone in real estate that made some money? Okay? I have. And I met a guy up in Logan. I was going to Utah State, and every time I meet someone rich, I ask them, like, Jerry, what do you do? How did you get so rich? I'm assuming you're rich. I don't know. But we'll assume it, okay? You look like a rich guy. You got a smile on your face. Not many poor people have smiles on their face. So I asked them, what did you do? How did you get there? And they all gave me different answers, and most of them came up with real estate. Where did you invest your money? They're like, real estate. And one guy that I met in Logan, I said, well, how did you get into it? Because he had a nice big mansion that was like, it's humongous, like 10 to 20,000 square foot. He had a full-size swimming pool in his basement and a racquetball court below that. I mean, is that a pretty nice house? Plus tennis courts. And she just flies out to Cancun or Seattle. His daughter was going on a date. And she says, Dad, can I use your private plane? And he said yes. So she took her boyfriend on a date, and they went to Seattle to the Needle, what is that? The Space Needle. And they got up there and didn't like the food selection, so they decided just to go back to Logan and eat a pizza joint. Okay? So I asked him, what do you do? How did you get there? And he said, well, I started at age 18. I was going to college, and I bought my first duplex. I lived on one side. It paid for my mortgage. And then after that, I bought another one and another one and another one. And it just kept duplicating. And I still make $1,800 a month off of that duplex. Does that sound pretty good? He now is the owner of Salt Lake Real. His name's Deloy Hansen. Anyone know him?
I don't know him.
Okay, you've heard of him? Okay, and then he also owns the Wells Fargo building downtown too. And I asked him on that, I said, how do I get into real estate and do that? And he was so far above my head, do you think he had time to teach me how to do it? He didn't. So I started buying real estate courses, and I bought one after another and after another and getting into it. And let me ask you this question. How many of you would like to spend thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars and thousands of hours going to seminars learning how to do real estate without even buying a house?
Yeah.
Does that sound fun? Good. Well, there's a lot of people I met that did that, but I was persistent. And I made money on it, and I kept buying more and more and more, because when you go to a seminar, what do they sell you? Their product, and then they upgrade you, and then they upgrade you again, and then they upgrade you again, and then you buy a lot of them. And they had a lot of good information, and I had time to do it because I was a loan officer. But once you learn how to do real estate, if you know how to make money in something once, can you do it again? Yeah. I lost everything 2 to 3 times. But if you know how to buy a house, can you keep doing it? Like a bird sitting on a tree, are they ever afraid of the branch breaking under them? Really? No. What happens if the branch breaks? What do?
Fly.
They just fly. Same with real estate. So let me ask you this, guys. The main reason you're here is for figuring out how to make more money. So what does financial freedom mean to you?
Oh. More money than bills.
Okay, more money than bills. Paul?
Freedom.
Freedom? Jerry?
Time.
Time? Because that's really what it's about, right? What does financial freedom mean to you?
Being able to pay my bills and still have money to do whatever I want.
How would that feel?
Good.
Good, okay. So financial freedom is when your residual income is exceeding your expenses. It continues to come in after you either put time or money in, and compared to linear income, that's trading time for dollars. When your residual income is greater than your expenses, you no longer have to work. What would you do with your life? So, in reality, it's having time and money to do what you want, when you want, for however long you want, with who you want. Does that sound like a fun statement? Okay. So most of you have this in your mind. You say, you know what? This could be us, but we're poor. You ever said that? Yeah. Have you ever thought of places you wanted to go and you're like, dang, I wish I could do that? Or more of it? True? Weston? Yeah. So some people say, you know, I'm so broke I can't even pay attention. Or I'm just going to relax and enjoy quiet evening at home because I can't afford to go anywhere or do anything. Many people are used to staycations and not going out and seeing the world. So we're going to change that. So I got numbers up here. Question is, what's your number? How much do you need to have each month to feel financially free? So that's the question. Paul, how much would you need to have each month to feel financially free? Cover all your bills and to do other things you want to do.
5 to 10,000.
5 to 10,000. You have an expensive lifestyle for someone your age.
Well, to be financially free, I want to be stable.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Have a little money on the side that I can feel free about. That I can go on a vacation
And not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Larry.
Always do the first step of financial freedom is cover your expenses. It's like 4 to 5,000.
4 to 5,000. Okay. Paul.
Well, 5,000 is work.
Okay.
Peter? Oh, I'm shooting for the moon. Give me 20.
20,000. Okay. How much did you do? 1,000. Jaron.
5,000.
5,000. Jerry. 10. Jason.
10,000.
We got like all the J's in a row here. Say that quick. Jerry, Jason, Jaron. Sean?
10.
10.
12,500.
12,500. Weston?
500,000 to
At least he thinks big.
On average, would you guys agree that most people can survive off of 5,000? Okay, on average nowadays. 10 would be nice. In most cases, 15 or more. Depends when you're at. How would that feel like? What would you do? And what are your dreams and goals and bucket lists? If you had an extra 10,000 per month, what would you do with your life?
Save more often. Get a nice car. And drive around pretty much all the time.
Okay, so say you did that. Now you've got all the money you need. You've got a nice car. You've driven around the world. What do you want to do next? Have you even thought that far?
Honestly, no.
Honestly, no. Do you have a bucket list?
Uh,
Or is your bucket list to create a bucket list?
My bucket list was made, but it got kind of lost because I made it really young and it had about 4 different things, and I was like, that's all I need for my life. And now I realize, real bucket list, you have a list of about 20 different things.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter how many there are, but you do have a little bit more things you want to go for in life, right?
Yeah.
Larry?
I think it had a lot to do with traveling and doing some other things.
Do you have other goals and dreams that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done?
There's some things with every company that's important.
Mm-hmm. That's true, because now it's more focuses on what? Family, time, enjoying life. Okay? What would you do?
fun, awesome stuff.
What I find is you got to have a list, because until you do, you actually won't believe that you can actually do it. Did you know that? There's a difference between people that have a list and don't have a list. If you actually don't have a list, like if I ask someone, where would you like to go? And they're like, well, I don't know, somewhere warm. If they know, like, I want to go to Hawaii, then they're going to try and get there. And if not, welcome, Jason. We got all the J's on the back road.
Oh, I mean, that's wrong.
Jerry, what would you do?
I'll be fly fishing in Montana in the summer and probably New Zealand or Argentina in the wintertime.
That's a good man.
It's a good man. I just have another guy that lent us money on a deal, and he's in New Zealand now for a year. Because he can. Because he can. Does that sound fun? And fly fishing, okay? I lived in Alaska for 6 years. I caught fish this big with my hands out of the stream. And I had nunchucks when I was his age, and I caught them that way too. So, but we got bigger fish, and some of them were 100, 200, 300 pounds. And those ones you have to shoot. Okay, and they had some people with pretty thick lines for fly fishing too, because some of those fish get big. Montana sounds fun in the summer. Okay, so can we agree that we have a lot of things we want to do? If you guys had more money, would that make it easier?
Yes.
Okay, what we're showing you tonight isn't fast, isn't free, it's not like something that was going to happen overnight. To make money, it takes work, right? And knowledge, and we're making you a better person, because if you have money now, if all of a sudden I was giving you 40 grand a month, what would happen to the average person, do you know?
They spend it all, so they're in the same situation.
Have you ever met anyone that was making 40 to 80 grand a month that all of a sudden they jumped from a lower value to a higher value and they were like broke each month?
I had someone that stopped. That was really bad.
So I've met people who've done that. So a lot of the reason I'm going over this is a lot of people actually don't believe they can get there. And that's the mind thing we got to show you is, hey, you guys are all amazing people. What we have tonight, what you're going to see here in a second, is going to blow your mind away, and you're going to say, hey, you know what? That is possible. I can do it. I can be there. And this is just one thing, because there are a lot of ways to make money.
Yeah.
There is. If you have extra quivers in your arrow, in your whatever it is, arrows in your quiver, it will help. So, question: how many want change? How many would like to have something change in your life? Okay. Yeah, everyone's like, yay, but how many are willing to do something? If I went and asked everyone, anyone I ask, if I say, would you like to be a millionaire? If they're not a millionaire, what do you think most of the responses are going to be?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to change to do that?
Yes.
Yes, but you know what to do.
No.
That's the hard part, right? And even if you did, but some people still sit down and do it. Okay. Does anyone know anyone that's overweight? Okay. Do you think they know exactly what they need to do to get rid of that weight? They do. But do they do it? Sometimes, but a lot of times no. So even though you have the answer, you still have to get off your chair, do something. So, who has more financial freedom? A doctor that's making a lot of money and has a bunch of assets. What would happen to her if all of a sudden she got hurt?
You go to another doctor.
Yeah, she goes to another doctor. But her residual income isn't much. What about a contractor that's making $86,000 a year, has a bunch of raw land? What happens if he gets hurt on the job? Hopefully his insurance jumps in, right? You know. But what about a teacher making $40,000 a year with 10 rental properties? What happens if she loses her job or something happens? Nothing. Okay, so I got two stories on that. I met a doctor. Well, first of all, I met someone from Mexico. She came here at age 30 or age 20. She cleans houses. Her name is Elizabeth, and she started saving her money because the best way to get into real estate is to save 10% of your money, right? Put it into a property, keep putting that 10% into the property, and taking all the returns from it. But guess how hard that is, even though that's the easiest way to do it. Out of 1,000 people that try it, 100 people will actually buy a house. Within 5 years, 80% of those will be out of real estate. Guess why?
Too hard.
They hate property management, tenants. I mean, this last 15 years that I've been doing this, I've had 3 people die, 2 people shot. I've had 2 fires. I've had hostage situations, drug busts. I've had toilets in the middle of the night 100 times. Do you think that can be painful? Does that sound fun? No, not quite. So the other one was I met a doctor. And I was talking to her, and she wanted to get into real estate more. And I said, well, do you have much real estate now? And she goes, yeah, I've got 40 properties. And I was like, that's pretty good, and they're free and clear. Is that pretty nice?
Yeah.
And I said, well, of course, you're a doctor. That's why you do that. That makes sense, right? And then I asked another question. I said, well, what got you into real estate? Because most doctors don't have time to do that. They'll buy courses or other things sometimes. And she said, you know what? My parents were teachers. And they both worked for the same school district, and they knew that their retirement wasn't going to be there. So they started buying houses as teachers, and by the time they retired, they had 13 properties free and clear. And if you had even 10 properties free and clear, would that make a difference in your life and what you're doing?
Yeah, sure.
So she said they did that. They lived great lives, and so we just started to do that too. So most people trade time for money. They've got earned income. They save it up in net worth, but the real thing is to try to figure out how to get residual income to pay for that. Because how many of you right now, if you had to stop working today, today's your last day to work, how long could you survive before you'd have to go back to work or get money from someone else? You're there?
Yeah. If I stopped working today, how long would I last? I don't know, probably 2 days, 3 days.
2 days, Larry?
It's comfortable.
Tomorrow? Booker?
I got it.
A few months? Paul?
I'll cut off Social Security a week.
Okay. A lot of people rely on Social Security. We'll hit that.
A month.
A month? You're relying on your dad, I know.
Let's see, I got some food storage to keep my mortgage won't kick me out for so long.
So you got about
6 months.
4 to 6 months. Jason?
A couple months.
Couple months. Jerry?
Last year.
Last year. Okay. Jeremy?
Maybe
A few months. Remember your name again?
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
I can last as long as my mom has food.
Tracy?
Not for much.
Okay. Is that happy or sad or depressing?
A little depressing.
A little bit depressing, okay? So that's what we're going to go over. But how do you learn how to do residual income? There's only 4 major ways. 1 is real estate, 2 is owning your own business, 3 is other investments, like stocks, bonds, IRAs, and good investing, things like that, and intellectual property. Any of you here a really famous singer? Okay, booker that you're getting lots of royalties on, or books, or intellectual property. So most people don't have these. Why don't most people do these? Are you taught that stuff in school?
No.
You're not. So where do you go to learn it?
Somewhere else.
Okay, so if you're going to get into real estate, where would you go? Besides here.
Okay. I was gonna say here, but if I was gonna go to real estate, I don't know, I'd probably go to just a regular real estate company. I'm not really
Okay.
too familiar.
So you're not too familiar, but and we did this survey with a lot of people. I gotta back up again. I keep getting my stomach in there. Tiffany?
Google, and then I blow all my money and stuff.
Okay, Jason? You front, Jason.
The question is where, what would I do?
Where would you go to go learn real estate? Someone asks you, how do I get into real estate? Where do you tell them to go?
I go to Sean Upmore.
Okay, Jerry?
Try to find a mentor who's willing to teach.
Teach it. Is that easy?
It depends on if you find the right mentor.
It is. Do you think the right mentor is going to spend time to teach you? How much time would they need to teach you?
Again, depends on the right mentor.
Exactly. I tried to do that with a lot of people, and I couldn't find one that would spend time. In fact, that guy up there, he gave me about 20 minutes of his time, but it was way over my head. I met another guy here in Salt Lake that made $100 grand that my uncle referred me to, like one day on a house down at the auction, and I talked to him, and he got me off the phone within 5 minutes and yelled at my uncle, said, "Don't send me anyone again because I don't need competition." So I was like, where do I go? And I couldn't find anyone. I didn't have a dad, a neighbor, or anyone that I knew. And so I started going to real estate courses and things. That's why I went that route. But the best one is if you do have someone that's a mentor that has done it before and been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So accumulation mindset. We got to get people out of that. Retirement fears is not saving enough and running out of money. A lot of people, like, how many of you got into college? Instead of repaying my student loan, I'm returning my diploma because it didn't work. Does that sound pretty good? Okay. Back to yours on Social Security. I mean, it's sad in the United States today. I mean, we came here as a land of promise to do what? Our ancestors did, because they wanted to be free, and when they came here, they owned their own businesses, and up until the last 50 years, most people did have their retirements in houses and land in their farm, right? But now it's changed. Right now, even if you had $1 million, it may not be enough for real estate, and about 90% of the people out there are relying on Social Security for their income. How's that feel?
You mean social insecurity?
Yeah, Social Insecurity. Exactly. And then you have to wait until the stimulus from the government gets to you. How long do you want to wait? So, $5,000 a month. How much would you have to have if you're going to make $5,000 a month in an account at 4% interest? Some of you know this. Yes. Do you know? Make a guess, Jerry.
Total? I mean, you need $5,000. You need to be saving $5,000 a month.
No. How much would you have to have in a bank account to get $5,000 per month from the interest on that money?
The reverse. Now.
Yep, the reverse.
Having the investment pay you.
Yeah.
You're going to need in excess of $1 million.
He's good. You know, you saw this before.
$1 million?
It's actually $1.5 million. How many places guarantee 4%?
Yeah.
Not many people know of. There's still a lot of places out there that you can
They
find.
don't guarantee it, but they tell you can get it.
Yeah, they tell you can get it. They don't guarantee it. So how realistic is it for the average person to have $1.5 million? Okay, when you go to investments, sometimes they get you in there. I've got a lady trying to buy a house. She got some investments with a company. Now she's trying to get her money out, but guess what they have? They have fees. They got a lot of things to keep you from trying to get it out. So, next question. Is that enough for retirement? It may be, may not. I've met some people that have done really well in that, but not everyone knows that. You would actually need to make, to get $1.5 million, it's easy. All you need is to save about $1,800 per month for the next 20 years at 10% interest. Because that's what the S&P 500's been averaging on the good days. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Sound easy to do? Okay. How many people do you think can do that?
Not many.
Not many. Okay. So now we're going to get into the good stuff here, because this is what makes sense. The first part is just really, you guys got to make a difference. You got to make a change. You may have a plan A. This is just an option, plan B, and this is a movement that's going around the nation. I got into real estate, and I bought hundreds of deals, and I bought hundreds of courses, and I tried to get my family and friends into it. And it was tough to get my family and friends into real estate, and most of them didn't, and some of them I lost money with. Is that a good day?
No.
It's not a good day. So I ran across Chris about 5 years ago, and he was an interesting fellow. He started getting into real estate at age, he wanted to be a doctor first because that makes a lot of money, right? He found out he didn't do very good, and so he started selling real estate courses. And he worked for a company down south, and they sold $250 million in 4 years, and he noticed after those 4 years of talking to thousands of people, that less than 2% actually ever did anything in real estate. In fact, 50% of them or less even opened up the package. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Because you've done
That
coaching
was
and
part
things.
of the coaching process was to come get the package from Carlton that we had for 3 years and take the wrapper off.
Larry was a coach for some of these guys. And it's true, most people would get it. They're all excited, but they wouldn't open it. So he sold for 4 years, and he realized that the process didn't work. So he went out and he found some mentors, like you said. He went and found 3 people that made $10 million in real estate. Because he says, you know what? These courses ain't working. There's got to be something that works. So he said, he grabbed onto him and said, I'm sticking here until you teach me, okay? You're going to have to get a court order or pry me off until that happens. So he started at 23. At the age of 26, he had 25 homes, and he retired. At age 27, he had 50. At 28, he had about 100. He's now 34, and he's done over 500, and he's helped hundreds to now thousands of people buy over 2,000 to 3,000 properties, and haven't lost one to foreclosure yet. How's that sound? Okay.
Unbelievable.
Huh?
Unbelievable.
So we're going to go over how he did it. So he figured a system out. He duplicated it. He created Strongbrook with his friends. He wanted to get into real estate, and he says, I want to do it, but I want the best way to do it, the way that takes the least amount of time, least amount of effort, least amount of risk, least amount of money, but makes the most money in any market in the United States, whether it's going up or down. Does that sound like a pretty good list of things you want? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's done thousands of houses. He created a company called Strongbrook. Now, before he did this, let me ask you guys. If you had 25 homes and you were trying to find the homes, negotiating, knocking on doors, going everywhere to find them, because isn't that a whole job in itself? And then you had to finance them, and then you had to get the hard money, and then you had to remodel them, then you had to rent them. If you had 25 homes right now with what you're currently doing, would that drive you nuts? It would. Most people, it was taking him 40 to 80 hours a week to do that. But that was his goal, 25 houses. He's a systems guy is what we found out. He didn't do very good as a doctor, but he was really good at systems, at strategizing things. And he said, you know what, let's turn this into a system. I've got an equation. So he created a company that has all those things, that goes out and finds the properties, that negotiates them, that buys them, that remodels them, and brings them to you on a silver platter. All he wants to do is figure out how to help you get into real estate, to get your first deal, because that's your first question, right? Is how the heck would I get my first deal to start making money without taking time from my life that actually gives me time? Is that the question? That's one of them. So he figured it out, started doing it, and well, before then, let me ask the second question. His goal was $10,000 a month. Yours was $10,000? $10,000. So his was the same as yours. And when he got to 25 houses, he had this figured out. And he, instead of spending 40 to 80 hours a week, he's spending just a couple hours a week on maintaining them all. And at that point, his wife and him decided to retire because they hit their $10,000, right? So we already covered this. Where would you guys go if you had $10,000, first of all? Bahamas. Okay, we went there twice, 3 times. At least I have. Welcome. Come on in. You need to talk to Jason? Okay. Jason, you're excused. Not you, Jason.
I was like, okay.
But second thing he did is after a year of retirement, guess what his wife was saying? He's saying, you're home a lot. and you need to go out and do something. He's like, what do you mean I'm home a lot? We've done it. We're retired. We've got everything. But he started to think, what do I really want to do in life? And the second problem he has is, what would happen if all of a sudden you were making $20,000 or $10,000 per month? What would all your family and friends ask you?
What do you want to do today?
What do you want to do today? What would your friends and family ask you?
Loan me money.
Loan me money? Okay. Tiffany? Same thing. Jerry?
How did you do it?
How did you do it?
What you doing?
Well, exactly. Pretty much most of those. Is he actually had hundreds of people coming to his door to either ask for money or ask how you do it. He had hundreds ask him how he did it. And they came to him. He would get phone calls. They'd be like, how did you get into real estate? How did you do what you're doing? He's like, who are you? How did you get my number? And they said, can you please teach me? I'll pay you. I'll do this. Can you write a course? Can you do this? But guess what he knew? He knew that based off the last 4 years and thousands of people he talked to, that if he wrote a book, did a course, did a seminar, trained, how many percent of those people would actually do something in real estate? 2% or less. So he says, even if I do it, I know you're not going to make any money, so I'm not going to teach you anything because it won't work. You'll just lose the money. If you spent $10,000 with me and you didn't buy a house or $100,000 like I did or two, would you be upset?
Yeah.
Or maybe upset. Is it my fault or your fault?
Nobody's fault. It's the system.
Yep, well, the system works. It just depends on if you do it. The system's good, but do most people have time to learn how to do real estate? They don't. So that's what the secret is today. Is we're going to show you how to get into real estate without spending a lot of time, money, effort to do it, because we've got the system that actually does it for you. We've proven it thousands of times, and we're nationwide in 48 states. And I interrogated this like no other. So he told everybody no. I mean, they'd come to him and say, teach me. He said no. Finally, after a year, one of his friends convinced him. He said, you know what, I don't have time to teach you, but we have a system that may work. Let me throw you at the system and see what it does. So he took this guy, his friend, threw him at the system, and within 2 years had him 25 properties. Now, if you buy a property that has 20% down, and you have 25 properties, and you sold all of them, how many properties could you have total free and clear? 5. If you guys had 5 properties free and clear, you'd be making $7,000 to $10,000 per month right now. Would that cover your needs? For a starter. Okay, so that's the next part we're going over real quick. He created a solution. There's 3 pillars to this under Strongbrook. 1 is business ownership. 2 is facilitated real estate. And 3 is personal development. Because we found when people started making money in real estate, if they didn't have good money practices, they didn't keep their money. So we trained them on that too. So what Strongbrook does is we've got a trusted team that's with over 200 people with powerful residual income throughout facilitated real estate investments, business ownership, and personal development. It's a first of its kind team of 200 licensed real estate professionals who help you build your portfolios. We've done hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate. We've almost done $1 billion in impacting the nation with that, with almost 2,000 to 3,000 properties since 2007. We've been able to do it in up and down markets. I'll show you how we do that. We've been able to help people get into business. We've paid out $5 million in commissions since 2012. We have a good culture that helps you get personal development to change your life. Because we find out most people are not happy. It's not the money that makes you happy. What do you get? We found out most people are really looking for fulfillment, right? So time and fulfillment in their lives. And 2010, we even had the SEC interrogate us and go through all of our files for about 14 months. They couldn't find anything to shut us down. Let me ask you, with your business, if you had the SEC coming in and audit you for 14 months, would that close down most businesses? Would people want to do business with you? That would be tough, right? So what we do, we find the property, and we only go to the top 5 markets in the United States. Is Utah always the best market?
No.
No, it's not. Does the markets move? It does. So we spend hundreds of hours finding the best market with a team of 200 people, the top 5 markets that have the best growth and the best cash flow. We find it. We buy it. We fix it up. We help you figure out how to finance it. We lease it or rent it. We manage the property managers. We oversee them maintaining it, and we sell it. How much are you doing in here?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, but 99% of the people do nothing because what do you want more of? Time. So that's what we figured out. We figured out how to get you time to do the things you want to do. So, and we make about 5%, and I'll show you that here, on each property we do. So in reality, real estate goes up on average, right? And what we found out is it changes every 7 to 10 years. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Is that fair to say? And every 20 years we have bubbles. In 2008, did we have a big bubble here? Okay. Chris Crone, when he started doing this, he asked them, remember, I want to be able to get into real estate that takes least amount of time, least amount of effort, least amount of money, least amount of risk. He found that was a single family house with at least 2 bedrooms, or 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, 1,700 square feet, 10 years or younger, in a community within 30 miles of 3 million people, right next to the right schools, in an area that it's going up where you can buy it below value, and 100 other things. Is that a pretty high order? That has at least 8 to 10% cap rate, short-term 3 to 5 year hold. Guess why he did that? Because those are the #1 way that 95% of people get into real estate buy. Does that sound good? Okay. We had a bubble. We had a trough. Where's the best time to buy real estate?
Depends on your strategy.
It depends on your strategy. You can make a lot more here because that house, like Utah got hit, but what other places got hit worse than Utah? Phoenix, Vegas, Orlando. What places didn't get hit? Memphis, Indianapolis, Riverton, Wyoming. Guess why? They have a different economy than we have here. In 2008, we dropped. Those perfect houses that he was buying cost $200,000 to build. When they were selling them at the top of the market, they were selling for $300,000. If you were a builder, how many would you build? Many as you can. Those same houses were selling for $60,000 to $90,000 when it dropped. How come you didn't buy any? How come you didn't buy any? Okay, it was an opportunity. Did you buy any at that time? No. Did you know it was an opportunity?
No.
You did. Did you wish you were able to get into it? Okay.
It's been burned from the other end, but
Bird from the other end of it, yeah.
you're still trying to get rid of the ones that you paid free for.
Yeah, I know. That happened. So he figured it out, and so we follow the market. Our first goal is to figure out how to get you your first house, and then how to double it and triple it. What we do is we figure out how we get you in a market that's down here because the market's moved, right? We figure out how do you get you 1 property. And then we figure out how to turn that into 2. So you buy it like here. Here we will watch it. Because when most people sell you houses, do they just say goodbye, thanks for coming later on?
I got my commission. I'm out.
I'm out, right? Yeah, exactly. So we find out that doesn't work. We found out people don't have time to watch it. So every couple of months, we will value your property. We'll say, hey, you know what? It's been a year, and in a good market, every 6 months to a year, you can refinance or sell it and make a lot of money. So every year to year and a half, you'd turn 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8. Up here would go into lease option, 8 to 16 would move it to a different market or to a market that's steady, to 16 to 25. That can take 5 years up in a good market, and in any other average market, it can take 8 to 10 years, maybe 12 at the longest if it's really bad. Now, if you have 25 properties and you sold all of them all, okay, remember you'd have 5, right? So what happens if you buy a property and you don't make money? Are you going to buy a second one?
No.
No. So our system works on you making money. You can only get into our system and work with us if you make money. If you're not making money, would that make sense to get into it? No. We make 5% off a beach house. When we buy houses, we'll go out and we'll do 200 short sale offers a day. We'll go to auctions and bid on 500 properties in a day. We'll get that list the night before, find out which ones are in our little zone, and then get down to maybe 50 at the end and know which ones are the right ones, and we'll buy those, and we'll walk through the houses by the next morning at 6 o'clock, and we do our due diligence. We have done something that no one else in the nation has ever been able to do, and that's why we are growing so quick. We have had a lot of big people joining us because of what we have and how it's worked. We're having Les Olson join us. We're having a lot of different people that are pretty big people in the world saying, you know, you have a system that can help people get out of debt, get financially free to do what they really want in life. I mean, I want to start a charity, and I'm starting it right now to help other people. So when you buy one house from us, how much do we make? 5%. Okay, is that very much on a $100,000 house? So did we do a whole heck of a lot to get you that, right? We're not really making a lot of money on that. But guess what? When we help you buy 2 more houses, how much are we going to make? 5 and 5, 10, right? When we turn that to 4, we're making more money. On average, if we help you make $1 million, we're going to make around $50,000 on that. Is that a fair trade?
Yeah.
Okay, if we're doing all the work, on average, the average person is spending less than an hour a year on this. And Jason will come back and we'll have him tell his experience with that. But we figured it out. And every 80 years is it's called the 80-year K-wave cycle. Every 80 years we have a big one. 80 years ago we had the Great Depression. That's when, what's his name, Rockefeller became the first billionaire. And Warren Buffett just bought 44,000 properties here. So where do you want to be? Okay. When's the best time to get into real estate?
Right now.
Well, 4 years ago. When's the next best time to get into real estate?
Right now.
Right now.
Within the next 79 years.
The next 79 years. Exactly. We can go anywhere in here and make this work. That's why our system works. We figured it out. I mean, I interrogated like a ton of people, but we also paid a company $60,000 to find out how fast we could buy properties. Because if we get a lot of people into it, and you get 1 million people buying properties, are you worried about if we're going to have enough properties to make it work? So our system works no matter how many people we have in it. So here's just an idea. We go into different markets. We figure out where they're at, like Memphis, Indianapolis, where like they didn't even move during that market. Orlando, Phoenix, and Las Vegas, they were selling somewhere up in the 300s, not 150, but they were selling lower than that, like 80,000 back then, and now 150. So when we go into a place, we'll look at which areas, like in Phoenix, which ones are the best areas, which ones have the newer houses or in the right market. So, and we're an hour into this, so we're going to get through it real quick. I talk long. What we do is we give you a coach that helps you figure out how to get into real estate. We give you a free game plan because we don't know where you're at. We're not going to let you get into it unless we sit down with you for free and figure out where you're at, whether you have no money or any money. Our object is to have you what? Keep calm and do real estate. Bye, Steve. So the first goal is to get you to first house and double it every couple of years. Okay? Like rabbits. That's our goal. Because they know how to do it right? We figure out how to get you to first house. For example, like when in Indianapolis, you come in, it's $89,000. It's bringing you $379 a month after all expenses. Is that pretty good? How much work are you doing on that? You're cashing your check. Okay? Our job is to figure out how to get that turned into 2, and then to 4, and then to 8. Okay? Even on a slow way, this is what we can average, even if you only do 1 or 2 houses and just let them ride on each other. Our system multiplies itself. So we've done thousands of houses. Our last 1,000 houses, we've done a lot of stuff. Average purchase price $137, takes 42 days to rent it on average. We can rehab it for $7,000 because we buy all the same carpet, all the same paint, all the same tiles, and we do everything to get it cheap as we can and done it as quick as we can. We can do stuff that would actually take 2 to 3 months. We'll do it in 2 weeks or less in some cases. So we get assigned your project manager. They help you figure out how to get into real estate. Your role is to get educated, make decisions, expect bumps in the road, but expect us to be there. Your first year, you may spend 15 to 20 hours figuring out how to get into real estate because we got to figure out how to get you there. We help you protect your wealth. Then we do it again and again and again. So I've kind of told you the little formula. I haven't gone over everything. Basically, what I've just said is we figured out a way to get houses. We're going to figure out a way how to get you into real estate. We're going to figure out how to double it and help you do what you really want to do in life. Now, real quick, when I got into this, I'm an anal guy. Anyone like taking risks? Okay, I've got some great stuff for you to buy. But not big risks, right?
Yeah.
Would it be better if they're not? When I got into this, I lost a lot of money in real estate. And I mean, I lost over $1 million. I had to file bankruptcy. And I had a lot of family and friends and people that lost a lot of money too. So I started interrogating people and asking them how it worked. Jason, I didn't even know you were in real estate and had properties. How did you get into real estate? Tell us your story real quick.
I found out from my aunt that she knew somebody that worked at Strongbrook, and so I'd look into it. I sat down with them. 4 months later, they kind of showed me they drew up a game plan and said, hey, you have to get your first home. So we pulled equity out of my first house, bought an investment property, and here it is, 1.5 years later, and I've joint ventured on another one. So
how much time do you spend a year working on it?
few hours.
Okay.
I just had to turn in all the paperwork to the lending department. That's the worst part.
Now, do they auto deposit to your bank account, or do you get a check?
I just put it in my bank.
Okay, does he really do much work? He gets money. How much do you make? A little bit, a couple hundred, 400.
Yeah, probably $400.
Okay, would $400 help a lot of people in their life? If you do, now is he going to be getting that for life? Is he buying down? Is the principal being lowered every year? Okay. So I interrogated a ton of people. Brad and Rachel Tobler in South Jordan, they got 6 to 8 properties. Victor, he's 22 years old, he has 2 properties. And all these names and numbers I have right here. You guys can call and interrogate him too. Because you need to know what's right. I mean, whether it's true what I'm saying. Nathan, he joined our team a couple months ago, about 6-8 months ago. He's got 9 properties right now. Cheryl Buckley, she's got 2 properties in Vegas. She has actually been in 50 different MLMs. And she didn't make money in any of them, but now she was able to figure out how to get into real estate. These guys are doctors in Ogden, and they didn't know what to do with their retirement or how to make it work. And it keeps going down. Wes Brown's and Sandy. Gary Norris, I knew him years ago, so I knew he'd tell me the truth, and I knew Jason would tell me the truth, okay? So Gary Norris, he spent 20 grand in another company I was with, and he lost 300 grand on a joint venture deal because he didn't know how to do it right. He has since made over $500,000 with this. Matt King's got 35 properties. He's only got 4 in his name because he joint ventured. It keeps going down. I did my research. I wanted to go from accumulation mindset to residual income mindset and have my money working for me. How many of you have your money working for you? Some of you do. Okay.
A little bit, Mike.
Okay. A little bit. Okay. I was talking to Chris, and Chris said, you know what? I went to my friend's house that made $10 million. He had this nice big boat. And I said, wow, it'd be nice to have that money to buy a big boat. Because do you like boating? Okay, it's fun. Do you like boating?
Sure.
Okay. Do you like boating? And he said, wow, I wish I could have the money to buy that just like you did. He goes, Chris, you don't get it. I did not buy that boat. Boats are liabilities that take money from you. He says, what I did is I took the same money that I was going to buy the boat with, bought a cash flowing asset, and now that is covered. Now the mortgage is covered by the renters, and we got extra money that pays for my boat. My money works for me. My money pays for my vacations, my boat, my family, my extra free time, and whatnot. He says, I don't want to work any more than I have to, so my money works for me. I worked hard to get that money, so I expect it to work hard too. Does that sound fair? So we have a bridge to gap it. We've done hundreds of millions in real estate. We've had a lot of people get into it. I interrogated them all. You can ask them. We make 5% on each deal. We only make money when you buy houses. There's a second way that we make money. And this is the longest thing. And it's going to show you exactly how you can get into it. When I first met Chris Crone, he only had one way to get into real estate. You had to have cash, credit, and a job. Does that sound about right? Okay. If you don't have one of those, is it hard to buy a house? True? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
1 out of 3.
Yeah, at least 1 out of 3. Okay. If you have cash and you have a lot of cash, then you can do it, right? But if you have a lot of credit but no cash and a job, can you do anything? If you have a job and no credit, no cash, can you do anything? Okay.
Work harder.
You can work harder. So our second thing is before we get you into this, we do a free game plan. We don't know where you're at. We're not going to tell you where to go. We want to find out where you're at and tell you where your first step is. We get you in line with people. When I met Chris 5 years ago, he could only get people in that had money, cash, and credit. And the second way we get people into real estate is we bring you the deals. Now to get access to those deals, we charge you. If you want 1 property, we'll charge you $5,400 just to get access to it. Then you still have to come up with 20% to buy it. 4 properties, because most people don't just want 1. How many you guys want? A lot. So instead of $5,000 per deal, we're going to charge you $2,000. Most people want unlimited, so for $16,000, we'll let you have access to as many properties as you can buy. Now, when I first got into here, I was like, I can spend $16,000 and buy a house right now. Why would I want to do this? And I started asking all these people on this list right here why they did that. Almost every single person I talked to says, you know what, my first house had more than $16,000 in equity. Or if they bought it in Phoenix or Vegas, they bought it at above price because they were going so quick. But my first year, we gained that much in equity. Or second year, I didn't find one person that was upset about that. And they said, you know what, we got more than that back in our first property, and I didn't have to spend any time on it. Is that worth it? I spent 20 grand on one of my first real estate courses, and that's a small amount, okay? And I still didn't buy my first house. Now, we won't let you buy any of these unless you're qualified. We don't want you to spend your money unless you can get into real estate. Does that make sense? If you're spending money and not making anything of it, are you going to be happy? Okay? So we used to spend 40 to 100 grand trying to get people to buy this through television, radio, and the internet. And it cost us $5,000 to get someone into that. Are we making much money on that at that point? We're not. So on average, we found the first person, when they come in, they buy 2 properties their first year. Within 90% of those refer people, and 60% of the new people that come in were from people that were referred from it. So second part is Chris wanted to help the other 80% of people that either don't have cash, credit, or income, right? So how do we do that? It took him 5 years to figure this out. So this has only been around for the last 2 years. We created a partnering program. And this program helps the other 80%. It helps people, what I have seen, get into real estate 10 times quicker and 95% higher success rate. Let me ask you this. If you guys, out of 100 people that started their own company today, within 5 years, how many of them are out of business?
95%.
95?
97%.
97%? Okay. How come?
Just the law of averages.
It's a law of averages.
The systems.
Okay. If you have a system and you go out and you buy a franchise, or franchises have systems because they've tried and tested it, right? If you buy a franchise, you go out and buy a McDonald's. Within 5 years, what are the chances it's still going to be in business?
Well,
Good odds are a lot better.
Your odds are a lot better. It's like the exact reverse of it. Can you buy a McDonald's and hire someone that doesn't speak very good English and is 16 years old and doesn't know much, and will your McDonald's still work?
if you're managing right, yeah.
Okay? Yeah, if you're managing right. Okay? So do you have to be smart to own a McDonald's? You don't. Okay? But so that's what we've done is we systematize it, help people get into real estate. We have 3 ways for people to get into real estate because we don't know where you're at. We have one way at $499.99 a month. We have $99.19 a month, and we have free. Does that sound fair? What we do is we'll figure out with a free game plan where you belong in here. Free and $99 a month, we figure out your first steps. If you don't have $499 now, is there something wrong with your life? Yeah, there is, and we've got to figure that out. So we figure out how to get you up there, because when you get to $499, we now let you partner. We help figure out where your credit is. We help let you joint venture. We let you work with these guys over here. 20% of the people that have joined here in the last year on my team, we've had 90 people join, they've got money or credit. 10% of them only have money. Now, if you only have money, you can buy one house for $140,000, right? Which could turn to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, or you can joint venture and get 3 to 4 houses that turn to 6 to 12 to 24 to 48. Would you rather have 48 or what was it, 12?
12, I think, yeah.
Which one would you rather have? Okay. So, and the other part, how many houses can you have in your credit?
4.
You have 4 first, up to 10 later if you can prove your income. So we help you partner. If you join with us here, we've got a lot of people on our team. Some have credit, some have money, some have a little of each. Could we network you with people? We can. So first of all, we're going to set you up with a coach to figure out how to buy your first house, how to get your credit up, how to buy your first house, how to joint venture. We're going to work with you to get your first property. What we're going to also do is $499.99 a month. We're going to work with, that includes buying your first house. And if you spent $499 and you're spending $99 a month, after a year, does that add up? Are you spending a lot of money? So you spent $1,700 right there. Whether it takes 6 months, a year, or 2 years, that adds up. As soon as you're ready to buy one of these programs, 100% of whatever you've spent will actually be applied to it. So it becomes a forced savings program. Because we know that people think that's saving money. Does that sound fair?
Mm-hmm.
How many of you have a lot of money saved up?
No.
Okay. And if you do, you're like, I'm not going to tell you yet. So we give you that, and we're going to also give you this one for free. So we found out that if we can help someone get into a house, they start getting equity. If we give them this one for free, that helps them get into their first property. And then they can start doubling and tripling their money faster. So that's what our goal is. We just started doing this month, or last month, and it's had amazing results. So until the end of this month, they still got that on. Now, well, I already covered all this, but let me ask you this right here. What happens if you don't have money or credit? you have to do two things. You have to work harder, right? If you want to get into real estate, you have to work your butt off and make more money. Or we have another way that you can help work with us. What we noticed is every person that joined us started telling people about it. Have you guys ever gone to a good movie or a good dinner and told someone about it? Okay. Did that business make money off of you?
Yeah.
They did. Did you? No. Okay. So that's what happened. As we had a lot of people referring people, and they would refer two people or four, and they started saying, "Hey, you're making money off of me, Chris. Can you give some of that money to me? Does that sound fair?" Okay. So he said no, because he was generous. Then he had real estate agents come in and say, "Hey, I can't get you that 8 to 10% to 15% cap rate. I can't do it on hundreds of deals." And I couldn't do that. I could get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 deals for my friends, but I couldn't help 10 people or 20 people. And so real estate agents would say, "Hey, I've got some clients that have money." I had one come in last week that says, "I've got a guy, the last 2 months I've been trying to help him find a house here in Utah that cash flows, and we can't get one. And every short sale we put an offer on, it's taken up before we can even get to it." So he came in here, and he's getting started with us. Okay? And the agent was like, "Well, can you give me a referral fee?" And Chris said no, because he was nice. He's like, "We don't want to deal with with the securities, with the division of real estate." And guess what? All these other 80 people said. They said, "You know what? I can't get into real estate, but my rich cousin Paul has a lot of money." You're like saying, "They're not rich." "Would you refer son?" Finally, 3 years ago, he decided to do a referral program. He didn't want to do it because he hated network marketing. He didn't want to deal with the division. And so I said, "Let's try it." So he created the partnering program and the referral program, and guess what happened to the company within a year? In 2 years, they started doubling and tripling the amount of properties they did. How come? Because now, if you can joint venture with people, will that help you get into it better? I got 80 people on my team, and they're starting to network with each other. And I've had 13 people buy properties in the last couple months. So what we do is, let me ask you this. Do you guys know anyone else that could use an extra $5,000 per month or 5 houses free and clear? You?
Yeah, I know a few.
You? Do you know anyone? Okay, first name of someone. Remember your name again. Jerry. First name of someone you know that could use extra money. Steve. Okay, so you're talking to Steve. Steve's like, "I want to get into real estate," or "My job sucks," or whatever they're saying, and you're saying, "Would you like to do something about it?" Refer them to us. We don't want you to do this presentation. We'll talk to them, figure out how to do it. How hard is Jason working? He's not. That's just out. We have someone trained to do it. We have a video that's a lot shorter than this. I get long-winded because I'm a detailed guy, but I'm working on getting it shorter. I promise I will get it with under an hour or less. We're almost done. So you get, what's his name? Steve? Steve. You refer Steve. You don't have time because you're a busy person. We'll figure out how to get Steve into real estate, whether it's free, $99, $4.99, wherever it is. And then we will work with him until he gets there, until he buys his first property. And when he does, we figure it's your fault. Naturally, right? And so we're going to give you a referral of $3,000. Would you mind that? Okay? And if you browse 10 people, that's a potential of what? 30 grand. We've done this with thousands of houses and hundreds of people. They all go to this one right here, most all of them, because that's just how it works. On our last 2,000 deals, most people want to upgrade and they want more, right? Okay? So we'll pay you that. If you got 10, 30,000. 30,000 is enough to do what? A down payment on a house. Okay? And then that's helping you file more, right? Okay, because now you're making money. You're making about $3,000 to $5,000 per year, or depends what you're at. Now, Steve, we know that 90% of the people that buy houses with us refer people. So Steve's going to refer someone, and we're going to give him the $3,000 because we figure it's his fault. Does that sound fair? Okay, but we also figure it's your fault. So we're going to give you another $1,000. If you refer 5 people, we'll give you $5,000. If those 5 refer 5, we'll give you $25,000, which is $30,000. We'll do that 7 levels deep. So 7 levels deep gets in, and they're ultimately going to buy that one. We'll pay that next person $3,000, then next $1,000, $1,000, $1,000, $500, $500, $500. How many people do you have to refer to make money with us?
One.
I've had people join my team and not refer one, and they've made money. That's because I place them on our team. Okay?
Or they buy a house.
Huh?
Or they buy a house.
Or they buy a house, yeah. Okay? Third, I don't care if you refer a person. Utah's had some bad reps for network marketing companies, and this kind of turned into that. Chris didn't want it to, but He found out it doubled and tripled the amount of houses people were buying, and it was making them financially free. And they didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot to get into real estate. Well, they did, but my first goal is our goal is to figure out how to get you into your first house to start making money, to get your residual income. When would you guys like to start your residual income coming in? Now or in 10 years from now?
Yeah.
Okay. Second, we can help you within the next 5 to 10 years to be able to retire, just in real estate. That's all you do with this. If you work on our joint venturing program and network with other people, we can cut 4 years off of that on average. We can do it within 3 to 8 years. Would that be better? Okay. If you also do our business and refer people, we can cut that down to 2 to 3 years. We've had that happen with a ton of people, and a lot of these people on the list that's happened to. Third, when you start buying properties, we're going to keep counting them. Any property you buy and anyone else below you buys 1,000 levels deep, we're going to count them. As soon as 75 homes are purchased, we're going to give you an extra $35,000. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Okay, could you survive off of that?
Yes.
Okay? Jerry, could you survive off of that? It'd be hard, and you'd barely get your car half of the payment done, because I know you're going to want a nice one, right? My friend Gary Norris, that I knew years and years ago, he lost everything. He had lost $300,000. He started referring people. He didn't want to create a team. He just said, you want to get into real estate? Here's a friend of mine. Talk to them. Within 2 to 3 years, he had that all paid off. He's made over $500,000 with them. He's averaging 20 to 90 grand per month right now. We've had people come in their first and second year average 20 to 50 grand per month, just by referring and buying properties. It took him 14 months to get his first check. But guess what? All those 75 people in homes are trying to do the next year. They're trying to double them, and they're referring people, right? So it took him 8 months the next time, 6 months the next, 5 the next, like 4 or 3 the next, and he's almost up to a check every two months. By the end of this year, it'll be 1 per month. Could you handle 1 per month? Last, and this is my last awesome thing, real estate agents. These 4 here are all paid by the commissions from that. If you're a real estate agent, we can pay you off the purchase of a house. So real estate agents, we can help them make a lot more money. How many of you here know a real estate agent? Okay. How many of you, if you're a real estate, how many of you think the real estate agents get people come up to them and saying, hey, Jerry, Paul, Tiffany, I want to get into real estate, and then you go pre-qualify them, and they may not have enough money or credit or job history, right? Do you think that ever happens? What do you think the agents do with them?
Goodbye, so sad.
Goodbye, so sad, okay? So what if you could refer them to us? We figure out how to get them into real estate. When they're ready to buy their first house, we refer them back to you. What did that just save you? Time. Is that what we're trying to develop here? So we just got you another client and time. Now, when he goes and buys a house, we're still going to give you the $3,000. If he refers you, people will give you more. But say all he does is buy a house, okay? He buys one, you're going to get the $3,000. When he buys his first one, we're going to give you $1,000 on average, give or take. It's 25% of whatever the 3% cost of the house is. If he buys 2 more, we're going to give you 2 more thousand on average. 4 more thousand, 8 more thousand, 16 more thousand. That's 31,000 plus 3,000. That's for 34,000 bucks right there. How much work did you do on this? You didn't do anything. You made an extra commission on selling his house plus that. And when he sells those houses, because every 3 to 5 years we do what? Or sooner. We do that. You can make $65,000 off of someone that you wouldn't have normally made anything off of. Okay? Second thing, how many agents, say you sell something to Steve, right? You go, Steve, congratulations on your new house. What do most agents say? Here's a gift, thanks for commission, I'm going on vacation. I'll give you send you a letter each Christmas to thank you, and see if you want to buy another house for the next 5 to 10 years, because the average person buys a house in 5 to 10 years. And do you have any family and friends to refer me? Does that sound about what they say? Okay. What if you could say, Steve, hey, congratulations on your new house. We have a system that could get you 5 more houses free and clear within the next 5 to 10 years. Would you mind taking a look at it? What do you think they might say? And that's why we just had 75 brokers in New York sign up, and we're having a lot of them sign up, because now it doubles and triples your clientele, because not everyone's going to join, but guess what 50% of them need? They need a house. We're getting a lot of people. This is one of the best ways to get agents started in real estate and making a lot more money. Okay, that's pretty much it. We help you get into houses. We have a lot of ways to do it. How many of you are tired of trading time for money, working for your dream-sucking vampire boss, taking little bits out of your brain every day, turning us to human zombies? Perfect job is being your own boss. We're not going to go over this because we're out a lot of time. But if you have money, you usually don't have time. It's called the job. If you have time, you usually have no money. It's called retirement. If you have a solution, it's called network marketing. It did turn into network marketing, and it's been one of the best ones ever. We have so much training and personal development, and we've been able to get people to go where no man's gone before besides Star Trek. So, wake up. You're not going to achieve wealth working a 9 to 5 job. How many of you know a millionaire that works for someone else? There's not many of them. There's a couple of them, right?
They're on the Jazz.
Yeah, they're on the Jazz team. They're football players. And it's really, what 3 things do you guys like to do? How much time are you spend doing them? How much time would you like to? Our system helps you be in control of your time. On average, most people get started with us at the $4.99. $4.99, $99 a month. 100% of that goes towards getting your first package and buying your first house and we help you get your first non-owner occupied. We get you in. We help you figure out how to get into it. How would you like to get that for free? Okay, we have a special. If you're your first 3 people that get in, we pay you $125 per person and $28 per month. If you get 3 people in, we'll waive the $99 a month fee, and you get it free. I haven't paid for mine since they started that program. Is that nice? How many of you would like fewer residual bills? Plus, they give you an extra $56. I'm making no less than $1,000 to $2,000 a month now. Guess what they pay me? I've got proof, okay? I didn't have that in some other companies I've been in before. So, we teach you, we give you a lot of information. There's 3 ways to get in. Right now, we can get you this for free. How many of you like free stuff?
Yay!
Okay? This thing right here has gotten so many people in. Our objective is just to figure out how to get you into real estate. Get us 3 people, we'll give it to you for free. That's what this is. Now, a lot of people make a lot of money. We'll sit down with you and go over that, because each of you have a different game plan, and I appreciate your time tonight. So, this is our team as of December. It's actually a lot bigger than that now. We've got 90 people on it. When we grow it, we place people underneath each other and help each other out. If you come in, I can place you under someone else there. I'll still get most of the money. And when you buy a property, everyone above you gets credit for that and can start benefiting from it. Would you like more vacations? Or how many of you like where you're at in your life right now? I mean, you like your life, right? But how many of you want more?
I want more.
Okay. Or more free time, more time, right? Okay. So we don't know where you're going to start. We'll figure it out. If you've got money and credit, we'll help you get into a property. If you got credit, a job, or money, we'll help you join venture. If you've got $1,000 to $3,000 or less, we'll get a bunch of us together to get a house. If not, we'll teach you how to do that. I've had people make $3,000 their first week in this. So last couple questions. If you felt this was really a chance to change your life or other people's lives, because this can help a lot of people, right? Do you think you could find a way to make it happen? Is there anything that would get in your way of starting now? Is the question. And if there is, you got to figure out what to do, because this is an opportunity that's in your way, and it's here to help you out. I investigated it, and that's what we're going to ask you guys to do. Definition of insanity is what? Doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. Anyone ever done that?
Never.
Never? Okay. We have a 90-day think about it guaranteed program. If you think about it for 90 days, we're guaranteed you can probably be in the same spot. So, what are you willing to do? Build your boat, take the first step. You either got to work harder or work smarter. You may have to give up table. We'll figure out how to work with you, whether you've got 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a week, 5 minutes a month, or no time at all. We'll get you trained. You're going to be the doer or the thinker. You want to start your first journey with a first step in the right direction. There's no way I was born just to work and pay bills. I know a lot of people that feel that way. So, we're at the end now. It took too long, I'm sorry. But we taught you a lot. We have a couple people that joined. We've had Jason tell us. Sean, why did you join? What was your thoughts on that?
I joined because when I saw the presentation of the Chris Crohn's house for the very first time, and I remember seeing it, and I've been in real estate. I would also spend $20,000 on the
You were rich, yeah.
Gary Norris. And I've made money. I've also lost money in real estate. And I love real estate. I've managed 72-unit apartments. One time my wife and I owned 41. But managing is not, I hate it. It's worse than babysitting kids.
It's true.
And babysitting adults is so much worse. But when I saw the presentation, I was like, yeah, this is really, really, really great. And then I saw the amounts, and I'm like, I don't have that right now. This is so great, too. I can't get it in. I went through these emotions, and then all the referral parts, and I'm like, oh, wait. All right. Maybe I can't do this right away, but I can do referrals. I can work this slowly. I can get this going and whatever else. And it got me, and I was excited because I understand the value that was here from what I've done before on my own, and to have everybody else do that for me is just a great value.
Thank you. Give me a hand. Jason, why did you drive all the way down from Ogden area? What interested you in this?
I too I've been at my job for 15 years and just barely making ends meet, and just I needed to make a change. It's like that saying, if I don't keep doing the same thing over and over, I'm going to be stuck in the same spot for retirement. And so I needed to make a change in my life, and so that's why I found this option.
Okay, Jaron, you just joined us this last week.
Yeah.
Why'd you decide to do that?
Well, I saw it as the easiest way to make residual income. I need free time to do what I want to do, and take around with whatever I want to do.
And you're how old again?
I'm 22.
22. Okay. I think 20. How many of you guys would like to be 22 and getting into real estate?
Oh man.
You there are 22. Like, yeah. If you guys could go back 30 years, if you could, and buy a house 30 years ago, would you do it?
Yeah.
Would you buy 10?
Yeah.
Even if it would cost $10,000 more
Yes.
than the purchase price, where would you be today? Okay, so how come you're not buying 10 houses today? What are you going to say in 30 years from now?
Whoops.
Whoops. Okay. How many people? Are there more things that how many things that you have that you wish you would have done that you didn't? Okay. So this is about it. Figure out we'll sit down with you. We're going to give you guys free game plans. Just put your name, phone number, email address on. We'll give you some more free information. And let me have you pass those back there to people. And so you can do your research. We'll sit down with you. We'll have corporate sit with you, and I'll also sit with you because you got to have your questions answered, and we want to make sure this works. We're not just going to let anyone get in. We want this to work. We've got an 85% retention rate on average, and our people on our team are buying properties and having time to do other things. A lot of them do a lot of other things for work, a lot of other companies, a lot of other businesses. This is a way to free up your time. We have people flying in from all over the nation to come and see, on average, how many per month flying in the corporate flies in. It's like 20 to 30, right? We flew in about 20 people, and 19 of them joined up. And a lot of those were already making $20,000 to $40,000, $80,000 per month. Do you think they see an opportunity here? Okay. So Zig Ziglar says, is there something you guys can do in the next 3 weeks that can totally ruin your life?
Oh, easy.
Easy, okay? Is there something you can do in the next 3 weeks that will totally change it for the better? Like, I'm sure there is. Could probably do it. If you don't have that much, something's wrong, you need to do something. How would it feel to, people that don't have that, how would it feel to never have to say, I don't have $499 again? Have you spent that much on stupider things in your life? Okay, I bought a laser for $2,000. Okay, it pops balloons. I can find a pin on the floor that will do that. Okay, my wife is like, why would you buy that? So, do you want to own a house or not? Sit down with us. We'll figure out how to get you in, whether you have time, money, or not. And I don't care what you have, but if you have a desire to do something else, I got people that have no time at all, but we're building their business. That survey I did with you, I can call anyone up, and I'll get at least 80% of them that take the survey to want to meet with me. And I'll get 30 to 40% that will be seriously interested in joining the next day to weeks to month, and I'll get 80% that still want to get involved. This thing is taking off like crazy. This is just one little room. We've got these happening all over the nation today. And our system is growing bigger and faster, and you're going to hear more and more of it. How fast do you want to be free? Do you want to try it on your own and buy a house, wait 30 years? Do you want to get a house, do it 5 to 10 years, or do you want to refer people? So that's the question. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, we're going to give you some free stuff. I'd like to thank everyone for their participation. Let's get music back on.
Turn the volume up.
Okay. Volume's up.
Oh, is it? Okay, hold on.
You can turn off the webinar. Click stop broadcast.